Do you think we'll see a team find their starting quarterback in this draft? And we should remind you, Matt Corral is up today, his pro day at 4 p.m. Eastern with Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, Kay. If we can go back and look at it, a lot of quarterbacks are drafted in the first round because you get that fifth-year option. But there's some starters in the National Football League who are drafted in the second round and possibly the third, and obviously Russell Wilson. And so you're going to find a caliber guy. Now, I love what Malik Willis did at his pro day. I thought it was awesome. The energy, people love that. There's another guy, though, that I would like to talk about, too, after we watch a little tape. This throw here, though, Kay, these are the throws that you look for at the pro day, right? Woo! Rolling to your left, throwing it back right, the oohs and the ahs. That's what you're looking for. And I give a shout-out to my guy, Quincy Avery, right there in the blue shirt. He does a great job down there in Atlanta with working with a lot of QBs. And I texted him right before this, probably like a week ago, about what are we going to see from him. And he was like, oh, fireworks. Now, I have to talk about a guy that I've worked with that we haven't had a chance to talk about on this show, who I think will be a starting caliber QB, and Carson Strong. Now, he's my baby. I coached him when he was 17 years old. And watch this guy. He has a rocket arm as well. He can let it go as well. He was out there in Reno in the elements. You ever been to Reno, Nevada? There's elements out there.
No.
Okay? It looked like a nice day. It was probably windy. You're up there in the mountains. But again, this is another guy that I think has the ability to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Strong arm guy, not as mobile as Malik. But again, we talk about winning from the pocket. He did that at the University of Nevada. And I'm just happy to see, I want to give him his flowers. I'm happy to see him compete at the highest level after, being under some good tutelage in high school. So hopefully it works out for him.
Go ahead, Tom. Oh, or me. Love these shows. With due respect to Nevada, I'm very fired up what we saw from Malik Willis. I really am, because you know what? The throws and the celebration and the jubilation and the personality was awesome, and we love that. But did you notice the second he stood with Steve Weiss, it went all business. Like, he has a different gear. And Weiss is even trying to say, where did that joy come from? He's nope, all business. Blood, sweat, and tears. I worked to get here. I like that, because anybody can throw a party. Do you have the different gear when it's time to meet the media or when it's third and long? I loved what I saw from him. And the answer to the question, of course, yes, there's going to be a team that finds a starting quarterback. They always do. Look at last year alone. Last year, the guys that started, these guys started in the NFL last year. It's not just Lawrence and Mack. Ian Book got on the field, Trey Lance, Fields, Mills. 7 dudes out of just 32 teams had a rookie starting quarterback. They will find one, not just for the future. They will find one that will start next year. Davis Mills was on the field. Malik Willis will be on the field. In fact, think about this. There's Mac. You can just run through all of them. Think over the last 3 years. Can you think of a first-round quarterback who just straight up sat the entire season? Now, Jordan Love is the outlier because it was the most bizarre draft pick of all time. But even these guys get on. Mahomes was really the only one years ago who even got on the field last year. Trey Lance, because of injury. All of these dudes play. You do not sit anymore. And it's a credit to them. And they're more prepared and they're more professional. There will be a team that takes Malik Willis in the first round. I guarantee it. And he will get on the field next year. Is he the long-term solution? We'll see if he can play. But I like this guy. If you want to see him, what he's all about, watch his game against Ole Miss in college, in which he was sacked 10 times, and it could have been 30 if he could not have in his escapability. I like what he's made of, and I think he will be on the field starting next season for a team.
Kyle, I got a chance to spend some time with Malik Willis at the Senior Bowl, and it was interesting because on the first day of that week, I sat down with all 6 quarterbacks who were in the game for interviews on that Monday. Malik was the last one in. He had, as I told him, the quietest voice of all the guys. And he seems, you got kind of, though, that same juice from him anyway. Even though he's not a loud talker and he doesn't have to be super demonstrative. And that's what he told me was, there's different guys who need different types of leadership. Sometimes you got to get on a guy. There's other guys you need to love him up. That sort of emotional intelligence is something that's probably going to serve Malik Willis well at the next level. You can obviously see huge arm. He's a really good athlete. He's not the tallest. He's like a hair over 6 feet tall. But when you meet him in person, like he's rocked up. He's got big arms and big legs, and he's helped himself here through the course of this process. We can talk all we want, and I have, to scouts about none of these guys should start. Not a single one of these guys should be on the field as rookies. There's no walk-in-the-door starter. Maybe Kenny Pickett, just because people really buy into the leadership and things with him. But building off what Kyle said, I want to show you the names, or at least the list of the numbers of rookie quarterbacks who have started going back to 2015. So 2015 was the Jameis Winston goes 1, Marcus Mariota goes 2 year. Every year since, at least 6 rookie quarterbacks have started a game. That is 40 over 6 years, 7 on average per year. And you can't even name all the guys on this list. I had research send me the list. I didn't remember some of those names got on the field as rookies. So odds are, just based on pressure, based on injuries, based on the things that happen in the NFL, 17-game season now, you're going to end up seeing a bunch of these guys start games in 2022, like it or not.
Tommy full screens. Unbelievable with the full screens week in, week out here on the show. Incredible info there. I didn't know that. At GMFB, yeah, of course somebody's going to have a starting quarterback. And Malik Willis is so interesting. We should mention his Wonderlic score. I don't know the Wonderlic score of any of the other quarterbacks. That one was floated out there because it was very good. It's very good. And he dazzled at the combine. Anything you want to see on tape, it's all super tantalizing. And then you look at other teams outside of the ones that we know, right? Panthers, Falcons, and Seahawks. They pick 6th, 8th, and 9th. Then you sort of look at what are the Lions doing, guys? What are the Lions doing at 2? You think they're going to, is Jared Goff the long-term solution there? Do they take a Malik Willis, a guy who's got all the physical attributes? He's intelligent. He carries himself well. There's a lot to like there. I'm going to float this out there just for some drums here. How about the Giants? Kyle, I'd love your opinion on this. I have no information on this at all, but I'm looking at them. They've got the 5th and the 7th. You're telling me that Shine and Dable, guys who did not draft Daniel Jones, had no attachment to Daniel Jones whatsoever. You think they're scared to take a guy from a smaller school? No, they're not. They took Josh Allen. They know what that's like. And I'm not saying Malik Willis is Josh Allen, but if there were 2 dudes, in Dable, there's a small group of decision makers that are anti, or they're pro small school college quarterback. It's probably them, and I'd like to see the Giants make that move for Malik Willis.
It'd be exciting because the company line is always that type of thing about, well, Daniel's had so many different coordinators and so many different coaches, and it's been unfair to Daniel. And I respect that, and maybe it has been, but we got to get busy winning some games right here. I mean, they're not interested in any of the free agents. They're just going to go to war with Daniel Jones again. Maybe they are, and maybe he turns into a Pro Bowler. But I think what we saw yesterday is very interesting to them, to many other teams. And I think it was bad news for guys like Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Garoppolo because these young pups look good, and they're working out well, and they seem professional. So Giants are fascinating. There's a bunch of teams out there where like, yeah, we have a guy, but that looked like a dude we saw in Lynchburg yesterday. So absolutely.